Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping headfirst into a really interesting stack of sources all about the new media.
That's right.
Our mission, really, is to unpack this for you, our listener. We want to look at the main characteristics, the impacts, and the debates around it.
Because it affects pretty much everyone every day.
Totally. And these sources, they've got some surprising facts, different viewpoints. Hopefully, we can give you a solid, concise understanding by the end.
Sounds good.
Okay, so when we say new media, it sounds big, maybe a bit vague, but the sources, they actually break it down into some clear characteristics. What makes it new? Where do we start?
Well, fundamentally, it really begins with digitalization.
Okay.
So that's the idea that all kinds of information, text, photos, video, audio, you name it, gets converted into binary code, digital format.
Right, zeros and ones.
Exactly. And that conversion is key because it makes everything incredibly flexible, easy to copy, easy to change. That's sort of the bedrock.
Got it. Digital first. What builds on that?
Next up is technological convergence.
Convergence. Okay.
Yeah. Think about how different types of media, which used to need separate devices, now all come together on one screen. Your smartphone, your laptop.
Right. I can read news, watch videos, play games, message people all on my phone.
Precisely. All those different functions converging onto single devices. That's technological convergence.
Makes sense.
And then sort of running alongside that,
Yeah.
you've got economic convergence.
Okay, how's that different?
Well, this is more about the industries themselves. Think media companies, telecoms, IT firms. They used to be quite separate, right?
Yeah.
Now they're merging, sharing resources, working together. Think about your internet provider also offering TV and phone services. The lines are blurring.
Ah, okay. The business side of convergence.
Exactly. And finally, there's cultural convergence. This is maybe the most profound one.
How so?
It's about how new media changes the way we actually live, how we interact with media, and importantly, with each other.
Okay. Give me an example.
Well, the sources mention that 90% of UK adults are on Facebook, and 70% use it for news and entertainment. That's not just tech adoption. That's a huge cultural shift in how we get information and connect.
Wow, 90%.
Yeah,
Yeah, that really puts it in perspective. And it feels like it's not just about us getting stuff anymore, is it? It's more interactive.
that's a perfect transition, because the next set of characteristics is really about the user. It's very user-centric.
Right, so like interactivity.
Precisely. You're not just sitting back watching a scheduled program. You're clicking links, choosing what video plays next, commenting, engaging directly.
You're doing things with the media.
Exactly, which leads directly to choice.
Yeah, endless choice, it feels like sometimes.
It can feel that way. No more waiting for the 9 o'clock news. You pick what you want when you want it from this, vast ocean of content.
And this goes even further, right? We're not just choosing, we're actually making stuff too.
Absolutely. That's the core of participatory culture. Think YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, even just writing product reviews online. Users are creating and sharing their own content on a massive scale. This totally challenges the old model, where only big companies produce media.
It really democratizes it in a way.
That's one way to look at it, yeah. And all this participation, all these people sharing knowledge and skills online, fuels something called collective intelligence.
Collective intelligence, like Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is a classic example, yeah.
Mhm.
The idea is that, none of us knows everything, but each of us knows something. And when we pool that knowledge online, we can create something bigger, smarter, more comprehensive than any one person could alone.
Okay, so those are the core ideas. Digital, convergence, interactive, participatory. It paints a pretty clear picture. Now, what does this actually mean for our daily lives? How much has it really changed things?
Oh, dramatically. The sources point to some stark numbers. Like back in 2005, the average person spent about 9.9 hours a week online.
Okay, about 10 hours. Seems like a lot back then, maybe.
Maybe. But fast forward to 2014, and that number had more than doubled to 20.5 hours per week.
Wow, over 20 hours. Where is all that time spent?
Well, it's everywhere, really. At home, sure, but also at work or school, commuting. Basically anywhere you can get a connection. It's woven into the fabric of the day now.
And it's not just the hours, is it? It's that feeling of being constantly connected. Sometimes, well, maybe too connected.
You've hit on a key point. The sources actually talk about the psychological impacts. There's this term, nomophobia.
Nomophobia, what's that?
It's basically the fear of being without your mobile phone or being unable to use it to communicate.
Oh, wow. I think I might know some people with that. Maybe me included.
Huh. Well, there was a study mentioned at Iowa State University where 70% of people felt worried or nervous without their phone, and 72% felt annoyed and uncomfortable if they couldn't access it or the battery was dying.
That sounds disturbingly familiar.
And it goes even further. There's also phobo, fear of being offline.
Phobo, okay.
Yeah, this anxiety about not being connected. They even observed it in infants, reacting to parents who are constantly checking their devices instead of engaging with them.
That's quite something. And with all this time online, all this engagement, we're constantly generating data, aren't we?
We absolutely are. Tons of it. And that leads into issues of surveillance and data collection.
Like the Snowden stuff.
Exactly. The sources reference Edward Snowden's revelations about intelligence agencies like GCHQ in the UK and the NSA in the US.
What did they find?
Well, the report suggested they were using smartphone apps, even things like Angry Birds, apparently, and mobile phone signals to gather huge amounts of personal data, things like age, location, financial status, even social orientation.
From Angry Birds. Seriously.
That was the claim. It just highlights how much data can potentially be collected through these everyday devices and apps we use constantly.
Right. Okay, zooming out again. You mentioned the speed of change. What were some of the specific technologies that really drove this era forward, those game changers?
Oh, the pace was incredible. Just look at the timeline the sources sketch out. You've got Twitter launching in 2006.
Okay.
The iPhone arrives in 2007, massive shift. Android follows in 2008. Then WhatsApp in 2009, Instagram in 2010. Netflix streaming really explodes around 2012.
Yeah.
Xbox One in 2013.
It's just relentless, one after another.
Absolutely. Each one wasn't just a new product, it changed how we communicate, consume entertainment, share our lives, accelerating that whole digital transformation.
It feels all-encompassing, almost universal. But is it truly global, or is there still, a gap, a digital divide?
That's a really important question, and yes, the sources are clear. There's definitely a global digital divide.
How does that look?
Well, if you compare things like mobile broadband subscriptions or how many households have internet access, there's a huge difference between developed countries and developing, or at least developed countries, LDCs.
Okay.
Now, mobile phones themselves have spread incredibly widely. By 2014, there were 6 billion mobiles globally, and nearly 5 billion of those were in developing countries. Africa, in particular, saw rapid mobile adoption.
So mobiles are widespread, but maybe not the full new media experience.
Exactly. There are big challenges, especially in many parts of Africa. Things like limited mobile connectivity, not just basic calls, but data. Also, only about 18% of phones in Africa back then were smartphones.
So access to the internet and apps is much lower.
Right. And huge regional differences, like 5% phone ownership in Eritrea versus 72% in Ghana, based on that 2014 data. Plus, you have language barriers. So much online content is in English, and of course, issues of basic literacy. These all contribute to the divide.
So it's definitely not an even playing field globally. Okay, we've looked at the characteristics, the impact, the adoption. But what does it all mean for society? This is where the big debates come in, right?
Absolutely. The sources lay out this fascinating clash between two main viewpoints.
Which are?
On one side, you have the neophiliacs.
The euphiliacs, lovers of the new.
Pretty much. They're generally very optimistic about new media and its effects.
Okay. And the other side?
They're termed cultural pessimists. And as the name suggests, they tend to see new media as, well, problematic in many ways.
Okay. Neophiliacs versus cultural pessimists. Let's start with the optimists, the neophiliacs. What's their case? Why is new media good?
Their core argument is that new media is fundamentally beneficial. They see it as empowering ordinary citizens.
Oh.
By allowing people to be more active in democracy, maybe holding power to account more easily. They also champion the increased consumer choice.
Like online shopping.
Exactly. E-commerce lets you compare prices easily, access way more products. They argue this competition drives down prices and benefits consumers.
Makes sense.
And overall, they believe it can kind of revitalize democracy, giving voice to more people, making institutions more transparent.
So more choice, more power to the people, potentially a healthier democracy. That's the positive view.
That's the neoceliac perspective. Yeah.
Okay, now for the flip side, the cultural pessimists. What are their big worries?
Well, they see a lot of downsides. They argue new media actually leads to a decline in real-world community and creates new social problems.
Like what kind of problems?
Concerns about information overload, for starters. Just too much stuff, making it hard to focus. And worries about the quality of culture declining.
How so?
The idea a shift towards what one critic called candy floss culture.
Yep.
Light, fluffy, instantly gratifying, but maybe lacking substance or depth.
Uh,
Okay.
Superficial content?
Kind of,
Yep.
and they're very skeptical about a lot of that user-generated content we talked about earlier.
Like the neophiliacs loved.
Right. Pessimists worry that things like Wikipedia can be unreliable or biased, or that, Twitter feeds and blogs just spread rumors and misinformation because there are no gatekeepers, no fact-checking.
The fake news concern, basically.
That's definitely part of it. They also point to things like potential cultural illiteracy, the rise of online trolling and abuse,
Yeah, that's a big one.
the general lack of regulation online, which they feel leads to this anything-goes environment, maybe even eroding a shared sense of morality or objective truth.
So quality concerns, misinformation, social breakdown.
And even social isolation, which seems paradoxical, right? We're more connected than ever.
But are we lonelier?
That's the argument from researchers like Sherry Turkle, who talks about people being alone together on their devices.
Oh.
Or Livingstone finding families have less interactive dinners because everyone's on screens.
Mm.
Plus, the really serious issues. Cyberbullying, addiction to things like online pornography, online grooming. These are all major concerns raised by the cultural pessimists.
So a pretty starkly different picture from the neophiliacs.
Very much so.
And beyond the social impact, the pessimists also worry about control, right? Who actually owns and runs all this new media?
That's a critical point for them, yeah. They talk about dominance by media conglomerates, meaning that despite the appearance of decentralization, huge corporations actually control vast swaths of the new media landscape, search engines, social platforms, streaming services.
And why is that a problem?
They argue it can actually limit real democratic participation because these corporations control the flow of information, what algorithms show you.
Right, the platforms shape what we see.
Exactly. They also point to the intense commercialization of the internet. It started out more academic, more open.
And now it's mostly about buying and selling stuff.
Pretty much. And the pessimist view is that this commercial drive reinforces elite power. Those with money and influence can dominate the online space. Some even describe new media simply as chaos, lacking a moral code, promoting subjective truth over objective facts.
Okay, so that's a really powerful critique. Corporate control, commercialism undermining its potential. Wow, that's a lot to take in from both sides.
It really is.
So, stepping back from the debate for a second,
Yeah.
what really stands out to you from pulling all this together? How does this deep dive help, connect the dots for someone trying to understand this world we live in?
I think what's really striking is how this isn't just about technology, is it? It caps into this fundamental tension we always grapple with, the excitement about progress, about new possibilities,
Yeah, the neophiliac view.
versus a real caution, even fear, about the unintended consequences, the potential downsides, the loss of something valuable from the past.
The cultural pessimist view.
Exactly. It's an old debate playing out on a new digital stage. And the sources make it really clear that there's no simple good or bad answer here.
It's a complex.
Incredibly complex. It's this constantly shifting landscape
Yeah.
with huge potential for knowledge, connection, democracy, but also very real risks of misinformation, fragmentation, manipulation, social problems. Understanding new media is about understanding that complexity, those competing forces.
That's a great way to frame it. It's not about picking a side, but understanding the whole picture.
Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive. Hopefully for you listening, it's helped shed some light on this huge topic that shapes so much our lives.
Absolutely. We hope it gives you a clearer map to navigate this digital world.
And maybe just one final thought to leave you with. Considering how fast this stuff keeps changing and seeing these really different takes on its impact, how do you think your own relationship with technology might evolve? And, what role do you actually play personally and maybe even societally in shaping where it all goes next? Something to chew on.